Kia ora mai tātou, welcome into Netball Zone with myself, Courtney Tidy. Storm Purvis is joining me tonight, and Storm, I dare say you'll be very happy with that Stars performance with a good win over the Steel.
It's so hard because we all want the Steel to win, right? We all want them to get a game, but yes, selfishly at the moment I am more worried about the Stars making their way into that top three and into the final series. 11 goals in the end it was, but I feel like that was maybe a bit... I don't know, didn't tell the full story. I actually think the Steel got really close there and I was a bit nervous at certain stages. It was just that third quarter, an 8-goal win for the Stars and that one in particular. And it's cliche, but they don't call it the championship quarter for nothing.
Well, that's true. And we heard from their captain, Maya Wilson, at the end. They actually lost the final quarter and they're not happy with that, especially knowing that they have to win next week so that they can, I guess, put their best foot forward in making the finals.
Yeah, they will be disappointed with that last quarter. But I think coming out of the halftime break is something they should be most happy with. I think Amorangi Malisela in particular, you know, we saw her come off and Jamie Hume come on. She was shooting 3 from 7, I think, at that stage, and actually came back on, had a wee look at it and made a difference when she came back. So, you know they've got players that they can use in those situations if they need to take someone on or off, and I think that's going to be important coming up against a team like the Mystics that is their final game. That one is going to be a goodie.
It definitely is. All right, it's time to head back down to Invercargill and chat to the player of the match, Millie Buchanan. Congratulations. How good does it feel to not only win, be player of the match, but in front of that Invercargill crowd as well?
Yeah, kia ora, guys. Yeah, it's always a nice feeling, especially for me. I always find that I haven't had my best games down here. Maybe it's the crowd; they're pretty loud. But I think this time round, it's you can't afford to not play well. It's crunch time, and we really needed to win. So I'm really proud of the girls and how we came out in that second half in particular.
You were a total ball hog today, Mila. 20 more feeds than Gina in this match. Was that part of the game plan, or were you forced to sort of play that way?
No, not at all. I think I owe it to G to get those feeds up on my behalf because she's always carrying the ship. So, yeah, that's awesome for me. But I think we just, as a whole, we all did really well and we all did our part.
And Mila, how did you find the battle out there against Kate Heffernan in the middle?
Yeah, obviously it's always a tough battle against Kate. She's really tall and long, and so I think for me it was just using a variety of passes and speed to get the ball into the shooting end, and obviously to get around her long arms.
Well, Mila, thank you so much. Congratulations and safe travels home.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Court. Thanks, Storm. See ya.
I'll always love hearing from Mila. And Storm, if we have a look, you said she definitely was a ball hog. 56 circle edge feeds, outrageous, but so great for her and also the Stars.
Well, it just makes them hard to defend, right? If maybe the game plan for the Steel was to shut down Crampton because we know her connection with Wilson is so strong, but step up Mila Buchanan, she'll just do the job and it's all fine.
Yes, well, congratulations to Mila and the Stars. This was round 11 of the ANZ Premiership, but it all got underway down in Rangiora for game 1. It was the Tactics getting the win over the Magic, and Storm, you were there for this one.
I was there, and it was great to see the Tactics finally play, particularly in that attacking end, to the potential that we know they're capable of. I think on attack, they finally looked like they were playing with confidence. They looked really connected. Ilya Dunn, MVP. Was that her first MVP of the season? It feels like it might have been, missing just the 1 goal of the match. Also worth pointing out that Emilia Nicasio shot at 100% and kept Karenberger quite quiet.
Well, game 2 for the round was down in Wellington. It was a top-of-the-table clash between the Mystics and the Pulse. And the Pulse, I tell you what, they came out firing. They were up by 10 in the first quarter. The Mystics, they changed up what they were doing defensively and were able to come back in the second quarter, but I always felt like the Pulse were in control. Maddie Gordon in the attacking end for the Pulse really stood up against the physicality. Great defence by the Mystics, but the Pulse, they were just too strong in the end. And the Pulse have cemented their spot in the finals.
They're in, the first team to do it. Yeah.
Yes, congratulations to them. Prior to that match, it actually was the grand final of the Synergy Hair Netball League, and it was Central Manawa up against the Robin Hood Comets. And I tell you what, it was much like the game before. The Comets, they came out strong, they were in front, but it was Central Manawa who actually got the win to win their 5th Premiership, and it was that player on screen, MMA Murray Fafita, who was the game changer. Manawa, they were down But then she came on and she just shot the house down and really changed things up on attack. And, you know, it's great to see what they're building down there in the Wellington region.
Well, what a dynasty, right? I mean, Manawa, that's incredible. 5 titles, really well done. Congratulations. Now, one player who has come from the central zone is Paris Lokatui. She's now down at mainland and really taking her opportunities in the tactics dress.
No, this is not what we want to see.
The moment happened so quickly.
Paris Lokatui and no one near.
Looking back on it, I think it kind of saw who I was as a person. The initial injury happened and I just want to come back out after I got the injury and just support the girls. I think that's what I just wanted to do, be around the environment, be around people and kind of feed off their energy. So yeah, the memory is short, but yeah, it will live with me for the rest of my life. The 9 months was kind of rocky at the start, didn't really want to talk to anyone, was kind of in my own bubble. But post-surgery, I think we established goals very clearly, very early on about where I wanted to be at specific dates. And I think that's what kind of motivated me to get there, push further and hopefully kind of get my rehab tracking on more.
Oh, great tip from Lokatui.
Wellington will always be home, and the Pulse gave me a really cool opportunity at a young age just to learn a lot and be an established athlete. So my time there was short. Definitely will want to go back, but I'm just enjoying where I am now. To move down to Christchurch was influenced by my brother. He obviously moved down here for the Crusaders Academy, so kind of missed him in that sense, but came to visit him in December last year, really loved it. And yeah, I got the opportunity to come down here, play for mainland, and yeah, it's been so good so far.
Good touch, Paris Lokatui.
Positionally, everyone had their starting spot, so coming in was quite a challenge. But I think when you take someone like Brea, who's had an awesome season, she did such an amazing job. So I just had to do what she did and just give 110% where I could. I think it's a really cool environment to be in, with surrounded by so many Silver Ferns, starting Silver Ferns as well. So just being able to pick their knowledge, kind of ask them questions as well, not just me taking information, but yeah, like you said, they're kind of world-class athletes and just, yeah, help me build a bridge to kind of get where they are at the moment.
Oh, and Paris Lokatui takes a tumble into the sign. She's back and running.
This season, I just really want to enjoy my netball, enjoy being back, form really cool connections down here in the mainland region and kind of have a pathway of what I want to do next season.
Oh, and it's great to see Paris back out there on the ANZ Premiership court. All right, it's time now to head back down to Invercargill and chat to one of our favourite Sammy Winders. Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us. What's your initial, analysis on that match?
Oh, we went into it with so much fight, and I think, that was our mindset, definitely. We've obviously got not a lot to lose at this stage, but lots to gain, and definitely we're in a position to, potentially upset the table and all that sort of thing. So, there was definitely stuff on the line, so the mindset was there, but I think we just got a little bit maybe caught up in the atmosphere. The crowd was unbelievable, and they certainly helped us stay in it. But yeah, we'd work and work and work, and then next thing you know, we make some, brain explosion error, or it goes out the back or whatever. And yeah, it was just really frustrating because we were right in it. But Stars definitely put up a good fight, and they always will. Always expect a good fight from them. And yeah, it was a good physical match tonight, but I love that.
I was going to say it was physical, Sammy, and I was also going to say we know that you love the physicality and you rise up to it. Did it feel more physical than other matches you've played this season? Because there are a lot of bodies on the floor.
Yeah, I think not necessarily more physical than other matches, but they are definitely the type of team that if you're going to do check and direct on defence on this team, they aren't just going to take it, they're going to give it back to you. And I guess there's a reason that we train maybe 4 sessions in the gym a week. It's not just to look good, it's to be nice and strong on the court. So if we're going to train like that, we may as well play like that.
Now, Sammy, we have seen you in that wing attack position this season. How did you find it?
Yeah, it seems so long ago now. It was all a bit of a blur. I trained all at wing attack pretty much the whole of pre-season, and then obviously started the season there, and then just found myself back in comfortable old wing defence. But I did enjoy my time there. I think it's certainly helped my attacking game. I'm trying really hard at wing D to implement a lot of those change direction and availability stuff that you have to be good at wing attack. So I think it's helped my game.
If we take you away from the netball court, Sammy, this was obviously a huge move for you, moving down to Invercargill from, you know, the Magic region where you've been for so long. How hard was that move initially, and do you think it's paying off? How are you feeling now that you've made the big move?
Oh, it was humongously hard. It's so comfortable being up in the North Island. Obviously, it's where I grew up, where I went to school, where I started. And, you know, when you play for a team for a long time, you just develop such a good connection to not just the team and the coaches, but the fans and the sponsors and all the supporters. And that leaving all that behind was really difficult, but I never pictured myself just playing for one team. I want to put myself out there and do something that's going to challenge me, and at the end of the day, that's what I had to keep coming back to, what's going to challenge me and where am I going to get some growth. So I have no regrets on my decision at all. I'm really, really happy down here, and at the end of the day, you know, it's high performance sport, so of course you're going to be worried about the score and wanting to win, but also there's so much more to it than just, you know, points on the board, and as much as I'd like to win, I'm so competitive. Anyone that knows me knows that. I have learnt, of course, that there's more to it than that, and I'm just growing in all sorts of areas.
Well, that's great to hear, Sammy, but we're going to stick with netball and you challenging yourself in high performance sport. And I think there is something in the back of everyone's mind, knowing that is a World Cup year. And so is that in the back of your mind, getting back into that black dress?
It's obviously a World Cup year, and, you know, it's like you say, it's in everybody's minds, and we've been really lucky to have lots of catch-ups over the year with the Silver Fern squad and staying in touch, both the development squad and the Fern squad stay in touch during the year and have little coaching sessions and that sort of thing. So, you know, we definitely are talking about it because it's obviously a pinnacle event and we want to do well at it, but I believe that whatever team they pick is the right team for the job, and I'll be backing them all the way. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm here to do a job for the Steel, but of course I want to play my best and represent New Zealand as a pinnacle for me. So whatever happens, I'll be happy. But yeah, I think if everyone has that mindset of playing their best for their team, but also for their country, then I think that's a good one.
Oh, Sammy, it's always great to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time after that match.
No worries, guys.
Oh, she's such a great talker. I miss her post-match speeches. All right, it is the final week of our TikTok competition. So this is your reminder to get your entries in.
All right, netballers, we're calling you to get your groove on. Grab your teammates, all ages and stages, and see if you can do it better than the ANZ girls. To go into the draw, head over to the Sky Sport TikTok page. Learn the dance, grab the sound, and remember to hashtag NetballZone in your entry. You'll be in to win over $2,000 worth of Puma gear to fully kit you and your netball team out. Make sure to follow them over on Instagram at Puma New Zealand.
And a big congratulations to the Blythe family, who are our competition winners this week. Thank you so much for sending in your entry. And as I said at the top, everyone, this is the last week, so please send in your TikTok entries, hashtag NetballZone, because we will be announcing the winners next week. And we are also going to have Storm Purvis send in her entry, maybe.
I just want to know how it's being judged. How do you pick a winner?
We just, I don't know, pick the best one.
Is there like a panel that's actually...
Yep, they're behind all these cameras.
Oh, okay. Well, Cruz will probably have something to say about that. I know he's not here today, but never fear. Cruise Control is back, that big netball brain of his. He's got something for you, and today it's the overload on a centre pass.
No My Hooky My Key Cruise Control, a netball segment where we offer you netball tips to improve your netball game. Today we'll be looking at an overload on the centre pass to help the centre get onto the circle edge. On the whistle, the goal attack and the wing attack want to make sure that they draw their players to one side of the court. The centre will then turn to either the wing defence or the goal defence, who will receive the centre pass. Once that ball is received by either player, they will look down to the shooter, who is popping out on the 45 angle. The centre will then run down on the circle edge, receive the ball from the goal shooter, and that'll help them get onto the circle edge.
Well, a big thank you to Cruz for that one, no doubt. We did a few overloads in our time at Storm. All right, it is time for another one of our favourite segments, Air News.
No mai, hoki mai. Welcome back to News, because who wants to be here? No me today, but we're going to pick it up, brighten it up, and we're here with the one, the only, Phoenix Taraka. And Palmer, welcome, darling, welcome. Hello. Say hello. Oh, she don't even want to talk to me. Fee didn't want to talk to me either. Welcome, Fee, to E-News.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I know you always wanted to come on here, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're going to start with a quick questionnaire.
Yeah.
So I'll go first. Okay, diamond or gemstone?
Diamond.
Nice. White gold or gold?
Gold.
Ooh, gold, diamond. Princess
Say
cut?
it louder, because Pat's right behind you over there.
Oh, now that's where we're getting it, sis. Okay, so you're always on the Instagram dropping the where's my ring, how long it's been, like work me up, or like what? Like, and has he listened?
No, not at all.
What do you
Since
think?
I would have said it loud and clear on my Instagram if he had by now.
Mama, you gonna tell Dad to get a ring? Yeah, Dad can get a ring?
Get a ring, hey?
Yeah? You want a ring?
So put a ring on it.
Wait for it, whānau. Do you know how to sing?
That's as long as it's taking Pat too to put a ring on it.
How was our little darling been, and what's she like? What's it like playing netball with our Palmer?
Oh, she is a sass queen.
She's you?
Yeah, she's my daughter and she's my karma. But it's fun, it's hard, but it's worth it.
We're going to go with our standard questions. Ultimate Mystic player. Say with any Mystics player you want to put together. Put two together? Who's it going to be?
Okay, mine would be, in the current Mystics team, is Katie and Grace.
You're nice.
Katie can jump and she's got speed to like kill, and Grace has obviously got the height and she's quite athletic. So I'd be tall and really speedy.
Well, if I was making a Mystics player, I'd probably take you and Grace, because then that would be the ultimate defender. Like, wait, that's me. No. And last one, up on game. So we put the whānau out there, up on game. So that means anything in life to make their life better.
Listen to music. It's honestly, it can set the mood. It can make you happy. It can make you sad if you want to be sad. But honestly, I love listening to music whenever I'm doing anything, and it blocks Palmer out. So yeah, love it.
Last one, because I got to know, how do you get your lashes so long? That's so beautiful.
Revitalash.
Oh!
I'm not a promo girl, but I would love some free Revitalash.
There you have it. Thank you, Fee, for coming on E-News. We're going to go back to Cruz and the crew on the bench. They're not on the bench, but you know where they are. Stay.
Oh, we love it. There's no cruise at all, but that is absolutely fine, because now we are joined by Helene Wilson. Helene, thank you so much. Phoenix, a player that you know so well. What was it like getting to coach her, but also watch her develop over her career?
Oh, such a pleasure. She's a really athletic player, but also a really good person. And I think when you keep things really simple with Fee and you give her little goals to work towards, she'll come up trumps every time.
Well, let's talk about what you're doing now, Helene, because obviously not coaching the Mystics anymore, but you're still coaching. You've been coaching the Mystics men. They've got another game coming up. How are you finding that?
Bringing so much joy to my life. It's so much fun. The men are just so grateful for the time that you give them and just exploring what they can do. They're so athletic. So I'm learning as much as what they are.
What's it like coaching the men compared to coaching the women?
Great question.
Yeah, I think the skill set's different with how they play the game. So exploring what I think I know in the women's game, but actually letting them help me with what works in the men's game. But one thing that I think I've added value to the environment is really helping them explore their athleticism and how they stay disciplined and actually play bigger, faster, and just stick to how you actually win. The things that we train week in, week out in the women's game, they're learning. And I saw them on the weekend, shoot a goal from a centre pass in 5 seconds. We kind of practiced that and they were so stoked with themselves. So that's really fun.
Yeah, awesome to hear you're still involved with coaching, but that's not all you're doing now that you've left the Mystics. Tell us what else you're up to.
Yeah, I'm working with coaches and leaders in high performance sport, so across Commonwealth and Olympic campaigns, but specifically with women. So my role is to support women to coach at the high performance level and lead at the high performance level. So I get to apply what I've learned in the netball and the coaching realm and share that knowledge with other women in high performance, which is awesome.
So great, Helene. What was it like for you though when you had to make that decision to go to that and leave the Mystics, which were so dear to your heart?
Yeah, it was really tough, and I must admit I miss the people, and the people are what makes sport so special, and the time in the changing room and the euphoria you get from being courtside. But at the end of the day, you put your family first, and I just really wanted to spend more time with my kids and my husband. So I'm enjoying having my weekends back and being able to watch my son play first 15 rugby in the last year of school.
That is fair enough, absolutely. Tia Winakere and Rob Wright now taking over the coaching, two coaches you've worked very closely with. How do you think they're going this season, and what kind of insight can you give us on them?
Oh, I think they're going really well, and for Tia to be a first-year coach and still be up there in finals contention, I think is amazing and shows the support she's got with Rob there as her assistant. I think it's a great balance. Tia's a great people person, she's a leader. She's led people in all of her career, both in the police force and in coaching. So I think with Rob's skill set and one-on-one work, they make a great team. Insight, I think I sit from the side kind of eating my ice cream and enjoying watching the game. And of course there's the odd text that goes to Tia and Rob, what's going on? Or whatever. Of course,
can't help yourself.
Can't help myself. But Sulu has said to me that I've kept my distance, and she was quite surprised by that, so I have. But I just want to support them to do well. I ask them questions. I kind of give them Tia gems of the things that I can anticipate, that I know about the rhythm of a season and how tough it is, the grind through the year. So fingers crossed things go well for them in the next round.
Well, if we can take you back to 2021 and that winning moment, what was that like?
It was really a relief, to be honest. I look at it now and just, even looking at this season, I realise how special it was. It was 24 years in the making for elite netball in the Northern Zone in Auckland, and so there were a lot of people that were really passionate about that moment. But I think back to being in the tunnel and hearing the girls before the match tell each other how much they loved each other and how much they trusted each other's skill set. I kind of knew in my heart you have the energy that they were going to go out there and win that game.
Oh, amazing. Helene, thank you so much for that insight. Right, we are getting very close to the grand final. It was round 11 of the ANZ Premiership, and it was the Tactics getting the win over the Magic 65-56. Then we had our top of the table clash, the Pulse. They've cemented their spot in the final series, and just tonight we saw the Stars edge out the Steel by 11 goals.
Yeah, so here is the ladder, and look, it's still, anyone's game in that top four, right? The Tactics can still get in there. The Mystics haven't quite secured their spot yet. It's just the Pulse that have done that. The Stars making it their job a little bit easier by getting that win tonight. But next round, it's all on. Tactics have 2 matches, so who knows what can happen?
I know they do have 2 matches. Their first one is up against the Pulse. Their final one is up against the Mystics. The Mystics also have 2. They'll play the Stars. Then you have the Steel and the Magic. But Helene, I want to know from you, from where you're sitting eating your ice cream, your thoughts on the ANZ Premiership this season and how tight it's been.
Oh, it's been really tight, and I think it's been the Premiership maturing, and what I'm noticing is the teams that are fighting for those final positions, and I think the team that will win the Premiership is those who can execute those skill sets in those crucial moments. It's really noticeable when it happens.
Oh, you can come back any time and we can listen to your insight. Helene,
got more
this
questions.
Week on Inside Netball Storm?
Yes, English squad is being named on Tuesday, so we're going to hopefully dissect that a little bit, which should be interesting. Here are our thoughts.
Oh, we cannot wait for that. Well, Helene, thank you so much. Storm, thank you for filling in for Cruise. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you all next week.